The gravel spatters through Willow Grove Park. It shatters the silence. Walter Hayes, 82, is threatened by the Viper gang, blood seeping through the pebbles. What will the old chosen soldier do when faced with such humiliation? What secret lies behind that steadfast gaze? A storm of justice is brewing, more explosive than you can imagine. Subscribe now. Hit the bell so you don't miss a single twist. Will the seals storm in, or will a legend finally emerge? This story will send shivers down your spine. Brace yourself. Benton is about to awaken, and you won't want to miss a moment. The wooden cane taps steadily against the gravel path in Willow Grove Park. Its rhythm echoes like the heartbeat of a town drifting into slumber. Walter Hayes, 82, moves slowly along the familiar trail. His worn shoes scrape the pebbles, producing a dry, hollow sound. His tattered military jacket, patched and frayed, flutters in the evening breeze. The faded, chosen 1950 insignia on his shoulder still stands proud against time. Suddenly, a shadow darts past like a razor's edge. A hoarse laugh shatters the park's hush. 3 local gang members, silver-gray hoodies, arms inked with tattoos, block his way. The leader, known as Viper, with a cobra's winding around his neck in ink, yanks the cane from Walter's hand. He flings it into the dry grass. He steps forward, eyes gleaming with malice. A cruel smile twists his lips. "Where are you rushing off to, old man?" he snarls, a predator's growl. His cronies burst into mocking laughter. Walter crashes to his knees. His knee slams against the gravel with a sharp crack. Blood seeps through the thin fabric of his faded khakis, staining them deep red. Nearby, children playing ball freeze, the ball rolling to a stop. Fear flickers across their faces. An elderly woman on a bench clutches her purse. She turns away, lips pressed tight, as if trying to erase what she's seen. A young couple under the oak tree rises silently and hurriedly exits the park. Their presence feels like trouble waiting to happen. Without a groan or plea, Walter reaches for his cane. His gnarled, scarred fingers tremble as they brush the carved wood. His clouded eyes shine with an uncanny patience. He is the soldier who once lay still in Chosin's frozen wasteland, waiting for the enemy to pass. Viper folds his arms, sneers. Like a wolf eyeing a weak prey, he kicks the cane deeper into the grass. It clatters sharply. "Pay your protection fee, old man, or don't expect to go any further." His voice cuts icy. A stone from his lackey whistles past Walter's shoulder, clinking on the gravel. Walter, on his knees amid the stones, refuses to respond. He crawls to the edge of the grass, his hand closing around the cane once more. Every scratch on the wood holds a memory of Chosin, of dragging 5 soldiers through the land of the dead as ice and blood ran unchecked. The gang circles him, howling laughter like wolves at dusk. One shaven-headed thug kicks another stone at Walter, striking his hand. But Walter does not flinch. He grips his cane calmly. Viper and his crew are but ghosts of a war long past. Quietly, Walter pulls a flip phone from his jacket. His trembling thumb presses the pre-programmed button. The screen flickers to life. SOS, Willow Grove. Though unfamiliar with technology, his grandson Luke set this up 2 years ago when Walter first needed support, and Benton began to unravel under the shadow of slum gangs. He slips the phone back into his pocket. His gaze turns toward the horizon, where the sunset burns like blood, like the fire that once raged in him at Chosin. The air in the park hangs heavy, as if before a storm. Viper, emboldened by Walter's silence, grabs at the old jacket, exposing the chosen 1950 patch. He sneers. "Bought that at a flea market, huh, Grandpa?" Stones fly again, each clatter on gravel a beat of humiliation. Walter leans against a nearby tree. Dried blood crusts on his hand. His eyes never leave the sky. He feels time as he once felt a comrade's heartbeat in the cold snow. Waiting that moment was survival itself. The children, hidden behind the tree, peek out. Fear entwines with curiosity. The old woman, message sent, rises and shuffles out, perhaps fleeing her own guilt. Viper stands arms crossed. He nudges Walter's foot with his boot, testing for reaction. Walter hears only the wind and a distant rumble, like a speeding SUV drawing near. The wind whistles through the ancient oaks of Willow Grove Park. It's the whisper of a town slipping into oblivion, yet that calm facade is fragile before the coming storm. Walter Hayes, 82, kneels on the gravel path. Blood seeps from his knee, staining his faded khakis, dropping to the ground like war memories that never dry. His threadbare military jacket, patched and frayed, flutters in the evening breeze. The chosen 1950 patch on his shoulder stands like a banner that will never fall. Before him, Viper, the gang leader, holds aloft the wooden cane engraved with chosen 1950 as if it were a trophy. His eyes glitter with vicious intent. Two accomplices, gray hoodies, sleeves rolled to reveal tattooed arms, form a mocking circle. Their laughter cuts into the park's peace like knives. Walter does not moan. He does not plead. He crawls toward the grass where the cane was thrown. His trembling hand brushes the carved wood, his cloudy gaze reflecting the patience of a soldier who once faced death in Korea. Willow Grove Park is Benton's green heart. Ancient oaks cast cool shade, birdsong fills the afternoons, and children play football on the lawn. Every day, Walter comes here, not for friends or conversation, but to sit on the wooden bench and watch the world drift by, to let his war memories dissolve into the sunset. He carries peppermint candy in his jacket pocket, sharing it with the children. His gentle smile makes them forget the cane and his slow, measured steps. The townspeople know Walter as the kindly old man who nods a greeting as he shuffles by. Nobody delves into his past. They see a cane-supported walk, a tattered jacket, and assume he's just another veteran living on his pension in a small wooden house on the outskirts. But Walter is not ordinary. He was an infantryman in Korea, fighting at Chosun in 1950, where he dragged 5 comrades through the land of death under fire, undaunted by the blood oozing from his shoulder wound and the bone-biting cold. The scars on his hands, now shriveled like a map, testify to those frozen nights he never spoke of, not even to his grandson. Benton, with its dirt roads and oak-lined streets, has been Walter's home since he left the service in 1953. His wooden house stands bare of family photos or medals. Beneath his bed lies a metal box containing faded photographs and an unsent letter from a fallen comrade. Walter hates to dwell on war. He hangs no medals. He tells no tales. When the children ask about the Chosun 1950 patch, he simply smiles and says, "Just an old piece of cloth." But today, his peace is shattered. 3 gang members from the nearby slums have entered the park like predators. Viper, cobra tattooed and cruel-eyed, sees Walter as the perfect display of power. He does not know this cane-leaning old man once stared down enemy fire, once lay motionless in the snow waiting to survive. When Viper snatches the cane, hurls it into the grass, and shoves Walter down, he believes he reigns supreme. Yet Walter, though bleeding, holds that same patient gaze of a soldier who knows victory is not born of haste. In the grass, Walter grasps the cane. His shaking hand traces the chosen 1950 engraving, each scratch a memory of soldiers he saved, souls he refused to leave behind. Viper stands with arms crossed, smirking. He kicks a pebble toward Walter, testing for response. His cronies, one shaven-headed, one long-haired, join in, tossing more stones. The clatter on gravel has become the drumbeat of humiliation. Walter does not look at them. Silently, he withdraws a flip phone from his jacket. His gaunt finger presses the pre-programmed key. The screen glows weakly. SOS, Willow Grove. Luke, his grandson, set this up 2 years ago when Walter first needed support, and when Benton began to fray under slum gang violence. Walter slips the phone back. His eyes fix on the horizon, where the sunset blazes like blood, like the fire that once burned in him at Chosin. He needs no clock to know the time. He feels it, as he once felt a comrade's heartbeat in the frozen dark. The park's air feels heavy, as before a gale. The children, hidden behind the oak, peer out, fear mingled with curiosity. The elderly woman on the bench, message sent, rises and shuffles away, her face etched with worry. The young couple has vanished, leaving the park nearly deserted. Only Walter, Viper, and 2 thugs remain. Viper, emboldened by Walter's silence, grows more brutal. He yanks at Walter's jacket, exposing the chosen 1950 patch, and laughs loudly. "Where'd you buy this, Grandpa? Flea market?" His gangmates hurl more stones. Their laughter slices through Willow Grove's peace. Walter does not answer. His gaze remains locked on the sunset, as if Viper were a phantom. He leans against the tree, dried blood crusted on his hand, cane held close. His eyes never leave the fiery sky. He knows. Justice will arrive in 30 minutes, as it did at Chosin, when he led his comrades across the line between life and death. The sharp pebble whizzes through the air. It strikes Walter Hayes's shoulder, halting him on Willow Grove Park's gravel path. Blood from his knee, now dried into a dark brown streak, soaks through his khakis. It seeps into the dusty ground beneath a sunset as red as flame. Viper, the gang's leader, stands towering. His eyes glint with cruelty as he hoists the wooden cane inscribed Chosin 1950 like a trophy. He hurls it into the grass. The wood clacks against stone, a final challenge. "Old man, get up, or do you want to lie here forever?" Viper's roar echoes. His 2 dirty gray hoodie cronies, arms inked in tattoos, erupt in mocking laughter. Walter, 82, kneels on the gravel. His tattered military jacket flutters in the breeze. He says nothing. He crawls toward the grass. His war-scarred fingers tremble as they touch the cane. His cloudy gaze reveals an unbreakable patience. A soldier who once lay motionless in Chosin's snow, waiting for the enemy to pass. The park, once peaceful with birdsong and children's laughter, now feels oppressive, as though before a storm. The kids who played ball nearby now huddle behind the oak, fear in their eyes. None dares move. The elderly woman on the bench, clutching her purse, has sent her message. Her shaking fingers and anxious glance betray her worry before she hurries away, escaping her guilt. The young couple who sat beneath the tree have vanished. Willow Grove lies almost empty, save for Walter, Viper, and the 2 thugs. Viper, emboldened by Walter's silence, grows more brutal. He kicks another pebble that strikes Walter's hand, drawing fresh blood that drips onto the grass. "Pay up for protection, old man, Or crawl home, he jeers, and his cronies laugh in unison. A bald thug flings a larger stone that whistles past Walter's head. It lands on the gravel with a harsh clatter. Walter does not glance their way. He grips the cane, caresses the carved Chosen 1950 inscription. Each scratch a memory of soldiers he saved, of frozen nights in Korea when he dragged comrades through death's domain despite his own bleeding wound. Viper's crew circles him, their laughter slicing through the park's silence. The long-haired thug, dagger tattooed on his arm, grabs Walter's jacket, exposing the Chosen 1950 patch. He mocks, "Cosplaying a hero? Flea market special." Viper tears a seam, loosening the patch. Walter remains unmoved. His eyes lock onto the horizon, where the crimson sunset fades into the gathering darkness of something closing in. He knows justice is minutes away. In his jacket pocket, the flip phone vibrates again, confirmation that the SOS Willow Grove alert reached Luke, his grandson. Walter, no tech expert, but Luke, a SEAL lieutenant, set this up when his grandfather began to lean on his cane and Benton grew unstable with slum gangs. Walter returns the phone to his pocket. His gaze is calm, like a soldier monitoring a comrade's heartbeat in the frozen dark, waiting for the moment of survival. Viper, arms folded, kicks another pebble at Walter's foot, testing for reaction. He doesn't know this old man faced enemy fire, lay buried in snow, waiting for his chance. Walter needs no words to reply. He sits back against the tree, dried blood on his hand, cane in his lap. His eyes never leave the horizon. A distant rumble grows clearer, the roar of an approaching SUV, but Viper and his gang are drunk on power, blind to its approach. Viper snatches the cane again, raises it, then flings it deeper into the bushes. He laughs. "Old man, this is your last stop." His accomplices join in. Stones fly, each clink on gravel the beat of humiliation. The children peek from behind the tree, fear mingling with a flicker of hope as they hear the rumble. The old woman, now at the park's edge, clutches her phone. She turns, watching. In Benton, news spreads fast, especially when a veteran is threatened, but nobody dares intervene or confront Viper and his thugs. The park's tension is taut, a string poised to snap. Viper, seeing Walter still silent, becomes ever more vicious. He leans forward, breath reeking of liquor, eyes glittering with malice. "Cat got your tongue, Grandpa? Too scared to speak?" He yanks the jacket again, ripping another seam, nearly tearing the Chosen 1950 patch free. Walter does not flinch. His gaze remains fixed on the horizon, where the ground trembles like the heartbeat of a great beast drawing near. He needs no clock. He feels time, as he once felt the wind through winter forests, knowing that to wait was to live. Viper stands upright, delivers a final kick to Walter's leg, yet Walter only stills. His eyes do not waver. He hears engines now, unmistakable and close, and his heartbeat remains steady, an old soldier's certainty that justice is coming. The roar of engines tears through Benton's sunset sky. It cuts like a blade across the crimson veil over Willow Grove Park. 3 armored SUVs barrel down the gravel path. Tires screech, dust billows like the herald of an unstoppable storm. Walter Hayes, 82, kneels on the stones. Dried blood crusts his knee, staining faded khakis. His hand grips the wooden cane etched Chosen 1950. His threadbare military jacket, its patch nearly torn loose by Viper's yank, flutters in the wind. Viper, the gang's leader, stands tall. His cruel gaze falters as the SUV's rumble grows louder, drowning out his cronies' jeers. Walter does not look their way. His cloudy eyes lock onto the horizon, where the SUV's headlights pierce the dusk like beacons of justice. He knows the moment has come, as it did at Chosen, when he led his comrades across death's threshold. 25 miles away at Coronado Naval Base, the operations room hums with tension. Lieutenant Luke Hayes, 32, stares at the tactical display. His eyes harden when Walter's SOS Willow Grove alert flashes on the secure phone. Without hesitation, Luke's voice cuts steel. "SEAL team, prepare vehicles. Move out now." The room erupts into action. 6 SEALs in black tactical gear check M4 rifles and don comm headsets. 3 armored SUVs roar to life. Luke, veteran of 3 Afghanistan deployments and commander of the region's elite SEAL unit, climbs into the lead vehicle, clutching the photo tucked in his pocket. Walter and Luke at his Naval Academy commissioning ceremony, Korean cap jaunty, pride shining in their simple smiles. "Stay strong, grandfather," he whispers as the convoy blasts out of base. Tires churn asphalt toward Benton. Inside, the SEALs share a focused silence. Petty Officer Ramirez, ace marksman, inspects his barrel with icy precision. Lieutenant Chen, tactics specialist, reviews Willow Grove's map on his tablet, pinpointing entry routes. Seaman Torres, just 24, tightens his gear, resolve flickering beneath his youthful anxiety. Luke cruises beside the driver, eyes locked on GPS. He knows his grandfather, the chosen veteran who dragged 5 men from frozen hell, would never send an SOS unless all else failed. At 82, with cane and frail legs, Walter is no longer the fighter he once was. Yet Luke also knows his grandfather never yields. His knuckles whiten on the steering wheel as determination surges. The convoy races across pitch-black fields. Benton's lights glimmer ahead, small but unmistakable. Luke checks his sidearm. Memories of childhood visits flash. Walter on his wooden porch, recounting Chosin in a low voice, never boasting, as though merely chronicling history. Young Luke once asked why no medals adorned the walls, why he wouldn't share tales with the town. Walter only smiled, patted his shoulder. "Medals don't keep you alive, son." Now Luke understands. Walter himself is the medal, a living testament to a war Benton long forgot. The driver reports, "ETA 7 minutes." Luke nods, issuing orders over his headset. "Ramirez and Chen, east approach. Torres, west perimeter. I'll go frontal. Acquire the target." No one needs to speak further. Each man knows his role. Luke doesn't dwell on the gang or the risk. His mind is on Walter, the man who taught him to stand tall and never give up. Back in the park, Viper continues his sick amusement. He snatches the cane from the brush, hoists it, then flings it deep into the tree line. His laugh echoes. "Old man, this is your last stop." His underlings hurl more stones, their clatter a rhythm of humiliation. Walter remains still, eyes fixed on the horizon, where the SUV's tremor now pounds like the heart of a great beast. The children peek from behind the oak, one clutching a ball, hope flickering in his gaze. The old woman at the corner clutches her phone, watching anxiously, waiting for what's next. Drunk on power, Viper leans toward Walter, breath reeking of liquor. "Cat got your tongue?" He tears at Walter's jacket, ripping another seam. The chosen 1950 patch hangs by a thread. Walter does not flinch. His gaze remains serene, as a soldier who knows that rash reaction only makes matters worse. He rests against the tree, dried blood on his hand. The cane lies distant, yet he needs it no longer to stand. He only needs time, and time is on its way. The SUV's thrum shakes the ground now. Viper and his gang remain oblivious. He kicks Walter's leg, testing for response, but Walter does not look. He hears engines growing nearer and feels his heartbeat steady. An old warrior's calm certainty that justice draws close. Headlights burst into view at the path's end, brilliant as flames devouring the dark. Walter knows, in mere minutes, everything will change, just as it did at Chosin, when he led his comrades back from death's edge. The headlights from 3 armored SUVs sweep across Willow Grove Park. They blaze like torches, burning away the dusk's darkness and illuminating Walter Hayes's scarred face. Engines roar, tires grind gravel, and dust billows in a haze. The ground trembles like the heartbeat of a stalking beast. Walter, 82, kneels on the path. Dried blood crusts his knee, soaking his faded khakis. His hand grips the wooden cane engraved Chosen 1950, freshly reclaimed from the grass. His threadbare military jacket, its Chosen 1950 patch nearly torn loose by Viper's earlier yank, flutters in the wind. Viper, the gang's leader, stands frozen. His fierce gaze falters as 6 SEALs drop from the SUVs, M4 rifles raised, moving like phantoms in the flickering light. Lieutenant Luke Hayes, 32, leads them. His face is steel cold, his eyes sweeping over Viper before resting on his grandfather, Walter, kneeling amid the stones, dried blood on his hand. The SUV's tire squeal cuts out. The silence that follows is more terrifying than gunfire itself. It is the verdict for anyone who dares threaten an old soldier. Luke steps forward. His combat boots strike the gravel like war drums. The SEAL team fans out. 2 seal the park entrance. 2 flank Viper and his cronies, rifles never lowering. Viper, the hulking man with the cobra tattoo, backs away, trembling fingers unclenching the pebble he'd been clutching. His eyes dart for an escape. His 2 accomplices, a bald thug and a long-haired enforcer, stand motionless. Their mocking grins have vanished, replaced by the fright of trapped prey. Luke kneels beside Walter. His gloved hand gently touches his grandfather's dried blood. His icy gaze softens, a flicker of fear peeking through. The fear of losing the only family he has left. Walter nods. His cloudy eyes brighten with trust. A veteran who once led men through Chosen's frozen hell knows justice has finally arrived. Rising, Luke turns to face Viper, tall and domineering, yet no louder than a whisper is needed to command him. "Who did this?" Luke's voice is calm but cutting. Viper stammers, claws at bravado. "Just messing with him. Old man got in our way." Luke steps closer, voice colder than ice. "This old man saved 5 soldiers at Chosen, long before you were born." Luke's words slice through the park's heavy air. The children hidden by the oak whisper, eyes shifting from fear to awe. The elderly woman in the corner spins around, clutching her purse. Hope flickers in her gaze. A few Benton residents, alerted by text, edge forward at the park's rim. Their faces dance between curiosity and remorse. Luke signals. The SEALs tighten their perimeter. Petty Officer Ramirez, marksman, stands guard at the entrance, rifle trained on Viper. His gaze is unblinking. Lieutenant Chen, from the west flank, controls the 2 cronies, finger poised on his trigger. Seaman Torres, the youngest at 24, blocks the exit, nerves tempered by resolve. Viper, once snarling predator, now shrinks back, eyes wild, as he realizes there is no escape. He opens his mouth, but the words choke in his throat under Walter's unwavering stare. An old warrior needs no words to command respect. Walter, leaning on his cane, rises slowly. His posture straightens, as if age and blood cannot weigh him down. The dried blood on his hand and the tear in his jacket matter less than the fire in his eyes, a flame from Chaucine that never died. He takes the center of the park. His cane taps the gravel. Each strike is a drumbeat echoing through the past. The growing crowd stands silent, no longer turning away. A boy clutching a ball runs forward. He picks up the loose, chosen 1950 patch from the grass and offers it to Walter, admiration shining in his eyes. Walter accepts it. His scarred fingers tremble as they trace the fabric's edge. His gaze drifts skyward before he nods, speechless. The elderly woman from the corner approaches, offering a clean handkerchief. Tears glisten in her eyes. Walter wipes the blood from his hand. His expression holds no anger, only the acceptance of belated remorse. The SEALs need not act. Their mere presence, in black tactical gear, rifles at the ready, has broken Viper's will. Luke signals. Ramirez and Chen step forward to cuff Viper and the bald thug, Benton's most violent men subdued. The long-haired enforcer stands motionless, head bowed like an animal caught in a trap. Police SUVs skid to a halt at the park's edge. Red and blue lights flash, but the officers hold back, knowing Luke's team has it under control. An elderly man from the crowd, wearing a worn coat, steps forward. He gives Walter a crisp military salute, hand shaking but precise. Walter returns it with measured grace, as if transported back to Chosen's frozen ridges. Others follow suit, wordlessly, transforming the park into a ceremony without ceremony. Luke stands behind his grandfather. Neither speaks, yet their eyes meet in a moment heavy with meaning. Justice has arrived, but the greatest surprise still lies ahead. The dawn light filters through the ancient oaks of Willow Grove Park, draping the grounds in a brilliant gold. Benton silently shedding its cloak of indifference for a mantle of newfound respect. Walter Hayes, 82, stands in the gravel path. His cane, etched Chosen 1950, taps the ground softly. Each click a heartbeat echoing across wartime years. His threadbare military jacket, the Chosen 1950 patch neatly restitched after Viper's rip, flutters in the morning breeze like an unbowed banner. Dried blood on his hand is now only a faded brown streak. Yet his cloudy eyes blaze with life, the fire from those frozen Korean nights never extinguished. Lieutenant Luke Hayes, 32 and a SEAL, stands beside his grandfather. His hand rests lightly on Walter's shoulder, pride shining in his gaze. 3 armored SUVs sit silently at the park's edge, reminders of the storm of justice that swept through. Viper and his cronies, cuffed and heads bowed under the SEALs' steely stares, are led to police cars, red and blue lights blinking in the calm, a period ending the arrogance that once was. The people of Benton, once aloof at dusk, now gather around the park, no longer turning away. A boy clutching a ball steps shyly from behind an oak, his eyes bright with admiration as he offers Walter a clean handkerchief found on a bench. Walter accepts it, wipes the dried blood from his hand, and nods gently. His kind smile makes the boy smile in return. The elderly woman who sent that SOS rises and approaches. Trembling hands present a faded photograph of a young soldier beside Walter at Chaucine. "My brother," she whispers, tears glistening. He said you dragged him through the snow. Walter's fingers brush the photo's edge. A slight tremor, his gaze drifting to those bitter nights. Then he nods wordlessly. The woman turns away, shoulders shaking, gratitude shining in her eyes. Others, shift workers, homemakers, step forward in silence, touching Walter's arm, offering a military coin, a steady nod, a look of deep respect. Luke steps back, letting his grandfather remain the focus. He needs no words. His eyes, bright in the dawn, speak volumes. He recalls evenings on Walter's porch when the old man recounted Chosen, low, unassuming, as if chronicling history. A young Luke once asked why he never hung medals for all to see. Walter only laughed and patted his shoulder. Medals don't keep you alive, son. Now, seeing Walter standing there, dried blood on his hand, cane in hand, Luke understands. Walter needs no medals. He is living proof, a flame Benton had nearly forgotten. The SEAL team, having handed Viper and his gang over to the police, falls in line behind Luke. Rifles lowered, their respect directed at Walter. Petty Officer Ramirez, the marksman, offers a silent nod to a legend made real. Lieutenant Chen, tactics expert, stands still, admiration bright in his eyes. Seaman Torres, the youngest, grips his gear, emotion flickering as though learning a lesson in dignity. The next morning, a wooden plaque appears at the park entrance, engraved, titled in honor of Walter Hayes, chosen 1950, the unbroken soldier. No one knows who placed it there, but it stands firm as Walter beneath the early sun. An old man in a worn coat pauses before it, fingertips tracing the letters, eyes misty. The boy from the oak leads his friends over, pointing and recounting the tale like a legend. A homemaker, once turning away, lays wildflowers at its base, silent. Benton's people, from laborers to veterans, gather around the plaque, not for photos or pride, but simply to remember. Before returning to Coronado Base, Luke stands with Walter at the plaque. His eyes sparkle with conviction. "You did it, grandfather," he whispers, hand on Walter's shoulder. Walter says nothing. He only nods, eyes on the horizon where the sunrise still burns bright, the same flame he carried from Chosin. But the greatest surprise arrives 5 days later, an unaddressed white envelope sliding beneath Walter's door, scrawled in hurried, regretful handwriting. "I am Viper. I was wrong. What I did cannot be forgiven, but I want to make amends. I'm now working at the Veterans Center, helping men like you." Walter unfolds the letter, his gaze lingering on each line, then places it on the wooden table in his modest home. His eyes grow distant. He offers no immediate reply. Instead, he steps onto his porch, settles into the old chair, and looks out at the changed Benton. The old soldier who saved 5 at Chosin needs no apology, no medal. He only required that the town remember, and they have. Viper's small letter stands as proof that even those who stray can awaken, just like Benton, just like Walter, who never truly fell. Under the morning sun, Willow Grove Park again fills with bird song and children's laughter, now bearing a new meaning and a promise never to forget. Walter Hayes steps out of Willow Grove, his chosen 1950 cane tapping a steady rhythm on the gravel, but his story is just the beginning. Veterans among us, unyielding in dignity, live quietly, waiting to be heard. Who will be next? A heroine in Georgia? A firefighter in Ohio? Each story ignites a legacy. To everyone in the U.S., comment 1. If you loved this story, tell us where you're watching from, California, Texas, or New York. Share your thoughts. Spread these inspiring tales to friends and family across America. Your support helps us bring you more dramatic stories, where justice always prevails. What comes next? A veteran facing down a gang in a bar, or a wartime secret uncovered in a small town? Stay tuned. The story isn't over, and heroes like Walter continue to write history.